At long last, it is finally here, the series premiere for The Bad Batch, the newest Star Wars series for us Star Wars fans. Let's get into the review.
Have you seen Star Wars?
So this morning, Bad Batch Season 1, Episode 1, Aftermath dropped, and I have to say, I was impressed with how they pulled it off. It felt different enough from the Clone Wars to feel like it's separated. It's continuing that story, and it takes it in a unique approach, because from the Clone Wars, we're very used to having our main characters being Jedi, and really focusing on the Jedi, but now things have completely turned to where we're focusing on the clones, and this had a very different tone than the Clone Wars, and that's what I liked about it, is that it felt like its own spin-off movie, and not a show that's about to begin. This doesn't feel like a episode 1 of a new series. This felt like the ending of an era when it came to the Clone Wars, and that was dark in this. Everything felt very sad. It didn't feel grand and epic. It just felt like you were lost in an airport with these Bad Batch guys, because that's how they feel. They're coming back to Camino, and everything is completely different. And I will talk a little bit about the spoilers in this review, so if you guys want to avoid that, click out now, but they're not going to be massive spoilers, not going to ruin the entire show for you. But there are some things in this that I really did like, and one of them was the characters of Crosshair and Hunter. I really connected with Hunter. I really feel like he was a character that I could root for. When I watched the first 4 episodes of Season 7 of the Clone Wars, that Bad Batch arc, my big complaint was I didn't really care about any of the guys in the Bad Batch. Echo was kind of cool because he was coming in, he was the new member, but then again, I haven't seen Echo in some time, he's been dead for all this time. That came out of left field for me as an audience member, maybe because I wasn't up to date on all the Clone Wars lore and the theories, but still, when that happened, it was like, okay, I'm not a big fan of these characters, but I'm curious on where the story's going to go with them when it comes to the Bad Batch series, and they really made me care about the characters. They made me care about what's going to happen to them, and I like the uniqueness of them. I like how they can look around at their brothers, their clones, and say, you're all regs, you're regulars, and we're better than you, but not only are we better than you, we're different, because we can tell something is afoot. There's a conspiracy going on, and it takes place in the middle of Revenge of the Sith, and there's an amazing cameo pretty much in the first scene, and that is, if you guys want to get out of it right now, let you know, but it is Caleb Doom, who is Kanan Jarrus in Rebels, and that surprised me because I remember reading the comic books about his origins, and it was completely different on what happened with Order 66. It's yet again Dave Filoni kind of retconning what happens in the comics. He did that with the Siege of Mandalore and the Ahsoka Tano book. It just completely retconned what happened in that, and now we're doing it again with the comic books, and that's completely fine. I'm just saying that it kind of shocked me that we got to see him. It was a little weird having Freddie Prinze Jr. still voice Caleb, because Freddie is probably in his early 50s, late 40s, and it was very apparent with this kid who's supposed to be a Padawan, so that was a little off-putting at the beginning, but other than that, I really didn't have any complaints about the show. The animation completely put me on my ass. I had no idea they were capable of doing that, and I think I should have been expecting this after Clone Wars Season 7. It did look very movie-esque with the Siege of Mandalore, mostly, and I liked that aspect of the Clone Wars, but I didn't really think they would have the budget, or maybe even the care at the time, to put that into future Lucasfilm animation projects. But the fact that the Bad Batch looks like this off of Episode 1, it's like, I want this consistency for the rest of the series. We're supposed to get 16 episodes, so this is going to go into August, and I think this is a great start. Now, one thing I do hope they get right is Omega. I think she calls herself Omega, but that is a character who it's kind of delicate at this point, because when it comes to the theories and the conspiracies on who she is, she's a clone for sure, but she's a female clone, which is very unique. But what is her big secret? It feels like she knows something that she doesn't want to share with the rest of the Bad Batch, and she has this immediate connection to them that they didn't really seemingly know about. It seems like she knew a lot about them, and they're just kind of confused by what's going on with her. So I'm curious on what her arc is going to be in the show, and when she either I feel like in all the trailers that we've seen, we know she's not going to be around for the entire series, so it's like, when would she leave, right? So I'm curious on what's going to happen with that, and also how this show is going to progress, because looking at the trailers, a lot of the footage we've seen was in this first episode, this 70-minute premiere, and some of the other stuff is basically on different planets and different settings and just has a completely different vibe than what we had in this first episode. So I feel like this series is going to be a little bit like The Mandalorian, where we're constantly going to different planets and checking out different cultures, but since we're during the fall of the Republic and the new rising of the Empire, we're going to go to like pivotal moments for the citizens. We're going to see what the Coruscant is probably like during this time. And we're definitely going to see a lot of cameos. Fennec Shand is going to be in this, Saw Gerrera was in this one. And I didn't dislike his cameo, I just felt like it was a little bit unique, a little out left field for me. I wasn't a big fan of it because it felt like it was slowing down the story a little bit. I didn't like that they went to that planet. It felt like with some right editing, you could cut down this entire premiere a little bit and not really miss any of the plot. And that's the only time I had a problem with this premiere, but honestly, this was great. I give this an 8 out of 10. I think this is a really good start to a series, and compare it to something like the Clone Wars, which we all look back with the Clone Wars with a lot of fondness. When you watch back to seasons 1 and 2, I don't think those seasons, and mainly those first episodes, got you as hooked into the story as this one did. But to be fair, you needed the Clone Wars to be hooked into the Bad Batch, but I think even fans who aren't really big Clone Wars fans can watch this and feel like they actually get an entire recap of what's happening in the Clone Wars and kind of a feel for the entire galaxy. This is going to be a very unique Star Wars show, and the reason I say that is because the Clone Wars already had a very mass mainstream appeal to Star Wars fans. This feels like something geared more towards Clone Wars fans, and that's fine, and even prequel fans, and I like that aspect of it because as someone who maybe not is the biggest prequel fan, or I like the Clone Wars but I'm not a huge clone fan, I like this series already, and I like the characters so far, and I'm interested in where they're going into this, because it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of filler episodes either. I don't know how this is going to feel with general audiences, though, because you look at something like The Mandalorian, and that has a big mainstream mass appeal to the entire culture. But this feels more geared towards the diehard Star Wars fans. The show probably is going to reward you for being a diehard Star Wars fan, and I like that. I think this is a good start to a new series and making that bridge between Rebels and Clone Wars. So tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the Bad Batch series premiere? Did you like it? Did you not? Personally, I will give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was a very good start. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like or a comment because it does about the channel. If you want to become an only fan, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and you will stay up to date on the latest news in Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.